That's right. Looking out.
Appreciate that, dude. Alright, well, we're already off to a lousy start. I've already been threatened, so I'm gonna not test the waters too much and head away from Skid Row. So we're at the corner of 7th and San Pedro, and this is decisively Skid Row, though it is on the outskirts. So the reason for the journey is because we're going to check out the 7th Street Road Diet. 7th Street heads over the bridge that direction, and at San Pedro Street is the various phases of Road Diet. So we're going to be heading out of Skid Row in pretty quick order. It's not a safe place to hang out and do your little film experiment projects. It's actually kind of dangerous. So if my camera is always seemingly being pointed away from the action, it's because the last thing I need is someone chasing me down while I'm making a video. So quite frankly, the sooner I get out of this particular block, the better. You definitely got some very mean hombres in this part of town where minding your own business does not cut it. So at the corner of 7th and San Pedro is the SP7 apartments. That is 99 units of affordable housing. So I guess if you use your imagination, you can see this Road Diet, these affordable units, and Skid Row outside of your doorstep. This neighborhood has historically held a lot of single resident occupancy hotels. So these little individual streets I will not be going down, of course, because that's not recommended, not safe, all that stuff. So this is almost the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst of the worst is over in that direction there. So we're heading away, we're heading out of Skid Row towards what is more the Fashion District. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, the busiest fire station in the city. Hell, it might even be the busiest station in the state or the country for all I know. The job that is done by the fire department and paramedics in this neighborhood is just something that most people would not be able to comprehend going to work every day doing that. Okay, we are going to continue heading to the west. So the main purpose of this journey is this brand new road diet and bike lane complex. And I say that somewhat laughingly. I mean, it's been constructed, it's completed, but obviously the functionality of it has not been sorted out yet. I guess there are some intrepid bikers. Honestly, it's a little disingenuous to have an upgraded bicycle facility in this part of town. But who knows, someday in the distant future, we might be able to have nice things. So this project consisted of making these pop-outs and making everything all ADA compliant, more or less. There's still no sidewalk. Yeah, that was my first thought when I saw that, was that people were just going to cut the corner to make the right turn. And sure enough, the guy just kind of nudged me out of the way. God, what a world. And up here we have what's called Joshua House, which is apparently a religious-oriented healthcare provider. There's supposed to be medical offices and dental offices and everything else in there. So, like everything, we'll see. It's not as easy as building thousands of units of housing in one space, because that oftentimes exacerbates the problem and makes it worse. I have not been able to empty my trash bucket, and it is full to the brim. And I don't see any trash cans anywhere. Trash cans are often vandalized virtually every night. Someone goes down every one of these streets and throws all the trash all over the place. A few minutes ago, I was walking through here and some guy, kind of unsolicited, he's kind of drumming up his own narrative in his head. He says, what I'm doing is taking jobs away from people that pick up the trash. And since they pay people to pick up trash around here, don't I feel bad because I'm taking someone's job? And I kind of deadpan looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? the amount of pride you're supposed to.
Bro, you know I'll shoot jokes on your ass right now. Don't play with me. I'll make your ass laugh, nigga. What's up, bro?
So here's the extent of the bike lane. We got some of these little speed bump thingies. Some islands that sometimes are a little camouflaged, so it's easy to run your bike right into the curb. So maybe it gets a passing grade, but it's not the best I've ever seen, but I guess it's better than nothing, slightly. Couple things going on here. This is condos, and this is what's advertised as creative office space, and beyond is Skid Row, and this is 7th Street as the 7th Street overhaul makes its way west.
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me.
Oh, no worries. In the background is the Hotel Cecil. So as a many-time user of 7th Street, I do have to kind of scratch it off of the list of convenient ways to get home, because now that it's down to one lane, it's pretty much jammed up. But it keeps me on different routes that I used to avoid, like 6th Street. So that there is the old Dearden's department store, one of those kind of predatory credit furniture stores. So that's been closed and the building's been rehabbed, so what they're going to do with it is anyone's guess. And off in the background is some apartments that opened up maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And this is kind of a crossroads. This isn't the best neighborhood right here, but it's also not quite the worst. So we got some lightly used bicycle infrastructure here. The existing two-way bike lane on Main Street, which is not used very often. That was done a couple years ago. So here's kind of the meat and potatoes of the road diet here. There's a bus stop across the street. And these little kind of useless islands that do provide a pretty good barrier between the bike lane and the road. However, one thing I will note is, check out, you got to be careful on this, because look at all these little bumps and indentations, you got to kind of pay attention to where you're going, otherwise you're going to run your ass into a curb. Oh yeah, best I can.
Well, that's like I called the city 3 days ago, 2 days ago to fix that.
I know. Only in the city is a magic hole that someone can fall into.
Well, that's what I told them. I said, you know, because my son lives in this building, so I said there's a club and there are people in high heels.
Yep.
And then one guy was blind. That's why I called. He was trying to use his cane.
That's how lawsuits and stuff happen too.
I know. Manana.
Yeah, someday, right? Nice lady. It's really enjoyable when people kind of share, kind of pat themselves on the back for things that they do. And I think that's cool. Thanks, man. See, now I'm in like a more residential neighborhood. People are saying nice things, which is always appreciated. Over in Skid Row, people were not saying nice things to me. People were kind of threatening me a little bit. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but I was picking up over there and some guy kept telling me that I better leave. So I just clenched my picker and grabbed it like a baseball bat, but thankfully he did not make good on his threats. So let's check out. You got someone hosing down the sidewalks. The good thing with all the rain, there really isn't a stigma about hosing down the sidewalks right now, so hose away, please. So this happens regularly and on rotation. I think the building's actually doing this one, but there are many crews that power wash the downtown sidewalks every night of the week in different places.
Up some flowers.
Underneath all of the rubble of modern society, there is a bicycle infrastructure that is taking form in one shape or another. So I think we might be able to eke away a passing grade, but definitely not anything groundbreaking at all. So we're now out of the recently completed bike lane area and heading into the under construction bike lane area. We're in a little bit more of a residential neighborhood now. There's CVS over there, one of the few drugstores that remain open in the neighborhood. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't go anywhere. Because once you run out of stores to kind of give you a sense of purpose, you lose a lot of what makes living down here attractive. You're not able to walk to stores and your food and all that stuff. So it looks like they've kind of dressed up the curb here with a little bit of a brick theme. some mom and pop businesses. This is my dry cleaner right here. Hello. So we got the before product, or the during, and the after. The local CVS. Normally there's tons of people hanging out here that I don't know why, but the street being under construction has kind of made them go away, at least for right now. So this is getting into the next phase. So most of the streets here have bike lanes, but pretty soon this area will have a street that looks a lot more like where we just came from. But a couple years ago, this used to be 2 lanes on each side of the street, and they made it 1 lane a couple years ago.